Right. Hello, hello. Good morning, you guys. Good morning. It is High Priestess Jamila. I am coming at you from the darkness. I like these kind of videos because sometimes it's good to just hear a person's voice and you can listen to what they're talking about. And it just kind of makes it easier to listen if you're not distracted by images on a you know a TV or your phone. So I want to come and speak to y'all, and many of you guys are going to have your head and your hearts open to this, but many of you are not. Um, but those of you that do listen to exactly what I'm saying and understand, you're going to have a easier time with the world. Let's put it like that. Um, Navigating your own frequencies and staying on track and staying on your path. It's probably what I should have put. Staying on your path. Navigating your own frequencies and staying on your path. What I mean by that is not allowing certain things and trends and what is trending in social media to change your frequencies or the way you feel about self and about your life. Okay. Now, just recently, the country faced yet another tragedy, which affects everybody, but it mainly affected a lot of melanated people negatively. And it's really, really, really difficult. I swear to God, it's really, really difficult for me to get through to the world sometimes when things like that are going on. So this was one of the reasons why I came and I told everybody, not just melanated people, I said, be careful because they're trying to put you on a certain frequency. I told y'all that. I did, like all last week. All last week, I tried to warn people about the media and I guess, the elites or whatever. They always talking about the elites. Hold on. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So I think that it's important for people to not go along with stuff that is trending in the news. I think it's really important for y'all to stop doing that. Like, literally, I feel like there were so many people that were probably getting ready to make. First of all, there was an energy shift. There was a certain portals that were opening. There was certain um, energy that was being given. Do I want to say given? I want to say there was certain energy that was present, but there was a lot of you that were too wrapped up in what is going on in the media, in social media, and in the media to even pay attention to what was happening. So they successfully distracted you. Okay? They successfully distracted you from your path. And now they probably laughing in everybody's faces because again, there was $13 million of energy that was given towards that. That's a lot of money. $13 million is a lot of money. So instead of you being able to manifest what you needed and what you wanted, you were so focused on that. And not only that, the negativity from all of that, which I'm sorry. I owe a responsibility to my family. You know what I'm saying? And to myself and to me. I owe myself. Okay? When you continue to allow things like that to bring down your vibe and cause you to be distracted. Okay? I don't know George Floyd. I don't know that man. I felt certain things, but for me to completely get knocked off of my path because of that happening to him is a mistake. And that's exactly what happened was they were able to distract you. Many people did miss out on opportunities because of that. It did not make anybody's life better. Okay, for you to so when you think about it, at any moment, at any moment, whoever is in control of the media at that moment can take over. They can take over your mind, your body, and your spirit, and they can affect you negatively. You know, people were willing to go out and kill and steal. And y'all know stealing is very bad luck. I stay away from people that steal because stealing is very bad luck. Okay? There was people willing to throw their whole life away just because of what they saw in the news. It's too easy to captivate the world's attention and get y'all to do whatever they want y'all to do. Like a lot of the times people feel, and I'm not going this deep, they feel as though, they regularly encourage, people to go out and do that stuff. And so if you have somebody that has that kind of control over you, then they can get you to do anything they want you to do. So like, for example, a lot of people's entire mindset changed and and not in a positive way. Not in a positive way. You have got to stop giving up on yourself over people that you hear about in the news that you don't know. Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, while you were distracted, you could have missed out on $3 million. You could have missed out on millions of dollars while you were distracted by all of that. Okay. What's up, Scorpio Witch? Good morning. Y'all could have missed out on opportunity because of that. And like literally, this is going to be, at any time they can cash in on your thoughts, on your spirit, on your body. They can just cash in somebody that don't even know you. And they can make you turn negative and they can make you feel bad about yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you felt some type of way about your existence, okay, if you felt some type of way about your existence or your life because of this George Floyd situation, then that was their intent to make you feel that way. Because why would you feel that way? Why would you feel some type of way about your life and your position in life because of what happened to him? You see what I'm saying? And so now when you think about it, many of you guys that used a lot of your energy during that time, those people are now rich and you're not. You see what I'm saying? And we can look at celebrities and we can say, "Oh, but the celebrity said to do this." They already got money. They got time to sit around and waste. Y'all don't have time to sit around and waste. Some of y'all have families to take care of. I mean, this is no excuse for people not doing what they have to do. I suffered for years. I did. I suffered for years because, and it's not necessarily that I suffered, but I couldn't get the father of my child to put forth anything for his children. So that led to me having to do all of it on my own. Okay, which it would have been nice if I would have got a little bit of help. How are you going to be there for your family when you're out marching and rioting for a man that you don't even know? How? You have a responsibility with your family, your children, your job, your business, whatever. How are you ever going to succeed if every 3 months they can come and tell you anything and get you distracted and get you to give up your energy? I mean, it was horrible what happened, but does that mean that you should give up on your life and feel negatively about yourself? And then and then also, it was funny how it came right during a certain time. And I told y'all that this stuff is planned according to the dates, just like I plan my group rituals that are going to benefit you. Okay. Because I could do the ritual by myself. I do it for myself anyway. But I decide to include people because I'm not selfish and I'm not greedy. You know what I'm saying? And so, but then you've got these people, they plan this stuff according to the energies that they're seeing, according to, certain numbers. When you look at the date, this is the reason why the dates will sometimes be synchronized with what they're doing. And that was a big one. That was a huge one because you got all of these melanated people and their energy, and it turned into $13 million dollars into those people's pockets, not yours. So then you start to realize that you wasted your time and energy because even according to the statistics, what happened to him is not going to happen to the average black male or black female. So as you can see, again, once again, they was able to get your mind, and they was and it was black folk. These are other black people. Okay, this is not a white person. The white person was in on it, but these are other black people that are now going to not have to worry about paying their light bill. They're not going to have to worry about paying their gas bill. They got it. They got $13 million dollars. You understand what I'm saying? And like, I'm not saying that, hell, that you shouldn't care, but you shouldn't let it take over your mind for days and days at a time. For days and days at a time. You're just thinking and focusing on this thing instead of you, instead of what you got going on. See, even during that whole thing, I was still doing rituals for my clients. I was still focused on my business. I had to order supplies for rituals that I have coming up. If I would have spent the last 3 days focusing on that, I would have nothing. I would literally not have a place for my children to live. Literally. So it's serious out here. This ain't no joke. You have to stay focused. And you know what? If you guys are with spirit the way I am, you guys know that they're going to make sure that you got a roof over your head. They're going to make sure that you have food in your refrigerator. But what about those financial goals that you want to reach up in the millions? What about those of you that want to be millionaires? What about those of you? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. People in your life are going to try to make you feel bad because you want more than what you already have. Well, you're supposed to want more. That doesn't make you greedy. Okay, that makes you normal. There's a lot of people that want money. There's a lot of people that have financial goals. Okay. For you to throw those goals away to help somebody else meet their goals is pretty sad. And that's exactly what happened. Okay. So next time, pay attention. Okay. This is exactly the kind of fear that holds a lot of y'all back because y'all are afraid. Y'all are afraid. And then especially if you are a melanated person, many of y'all were scared. Like y'all were scared. Y'all feel like it's a target on y'all back. And it's not. It's not a target on your back. It depends on how your ancestors set that up. And yeah, there is certain energy that it goes along with synchronicity, but it's also certain things that seem to be coming in interdimensionally. So there's not just interdimensional demons and beings, there's also interdimensional energy. Okay, energy such as money, energy such as, you know what I'm saying, healing energy. Many of you guys have been talking about how drained you are. See, that's a sign. I have had a lot of energy the past few days. I've been sleeping at night, so it's been giving me more energy sleeping at night. But like, I haven't been focused on that. Like, I didn't allow it to rip through my soul because you're not supposed to. Okay. And as a woman, yeah, I'm a mother. I felt sorry for that dude. But just because he's yelling out mama doesn't mean that I am going to empathize to the point where I am going to sabotage myself. That is the problem, is that many of you guys were willing to self-sabotage. And for what? For what? It makes no sense. So today is the 8th. Okay, today is June the 8th. Now, all of this went down over the course of several days, starting around June the 1st. I need to check and see when all that started. And I'm going to come back later and talk to y'all about this because I got something I need to take care of real quick. So, this is going to be like part one of me breaking this down to you guys because I think it's important for y'all to watch out for this. Y'all got to remember that we live in the United Snakes of America. And you cannot trust everything that you see on World Star Hip Hop, and you can't trust everything. And the reason why I say you can't trust it is because you're putting all of your heart into that. You need to trust in God. You need to trust in the goddess. Just because you see something like that happening don't mean it's going to happen to you. So therefore, that's why you got to keep it moving like the chariot. You can't slow down. You can't slow down. This is not the time to do that. See, right now you are planting seeds not for the future, meaning 2 or 3 years, 5 years from now. We talking about the winter time. It gets cold in the winter. Right now, you're laying down seeds for you to benefit from during this cold winter that's coming up because it's June right now, but it's going to be November real soon. And then what you going to do? Okay, many of y'all, while y'all out there, and see, that's how you can tell that it's a trick because you don't have the control over yourself at that point. And then that's when things start, that's when your feet start getting muddy and your hands start getting dirty and then your hands start becoming unprosperous because your energy went towards doing that. Hold on. Okay. So, guys, if you want to take a look at yourself and you want to figure out, like, because social media does affect people negatively. I know that I realized that there was a lot of people that they don't really have a social life. All they have is social media, but there's no real social life, actually. Okay, and everything about your social life is based upon what you see in social media, but you haven't really experienced anything. So it's the same thing where you are allowing the media, and then even in some cases social media, to persuade you. So, guys, this was the main reason why I tried to talk to my people. Many of you guys went into that mode. Y'all went into that frame of mind. You went into the frame of mind of self-hatred and loathing and fear. And fear. And so this is one of the reasons why, things may have not went well. Okay? Now for me, I wasn't trying to manifest with that energy because it totally I'm guys, stop letting yourself be controlled by a program. That's all a program. I refuse to allow myself to be a part of that. I did completely. I completely separated myself from that, and I know that, even today it's going to make a big difference today in my life by not being a part of that. That's a program. Okay, that's a program based upon black history that has nothing to do with my history, a history that doesn't resonate with me at all. But there were some people that did capitalize off of that. They may have capitalized off of it. I refuse to do it. So for me, I'm into uplifting people, not pushing them down. I don't personally want to manifest with that energy. I didn't. And yeah, it was a big money ritual because they did manifest $13 million. But I manifested 1 million by my damn self, at least. Okay. And you got to understand that, you know, there's probably millions of black people in the US. $13 million is not a lot of money when it comes to all of the black people that are here. So you still limited yourself within that. That's why I wanted nothing to do with the George Floyd ritual. I wanted nothing to do with it. And I trust my spirits in where they led me with that because they would never lead me astray, ever. And I think it's important for y'all to connect with that. Okay, yeah, the energy was very sorry. The energy was very low vibrational and low frequency. It was very low. And I didn't like it, especially during my birth month. Especially during my birth month, I just didn't like it, and because it was totally unnecessary. The world is so fertile right now. There's no need to do humiliation rituals. It was a humiliation ritual. It was basically at the end of the day, it was just humiliating. And that energy still is not going to get you to where you want to be in life. It's not. Okay? Because once all of it passes, you still have to face the music. Yeah, if y'all noticed, that was absolutely a ritual. It was. And um my spirits went against the whole ritual. I had nothing against, like, if you kept hearing me, okay, yeah, I did let y'all know what kind of man he was. So what? You know what I'm saying? That to me was important for y'all to know, but not as important as the fact that energetically it was all being used. And again, once again, the black community got the short end of the stick with that. Once again, you got the short end of the stick. And I looked at a CNN news thing, because I don't watch the news a lot, but when I do, it pretty much, it's important for me to watch that particular whatever it was. And they were showing a speech of the president, and he was saying that he, is with the protesters, and he was saying that he had nothing against peaceful protesting, but they're out there shooting the protesters with rubber bullets and gassing them. So, which one is it? Okay. And so that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to see nobody out there, because there's not just brown people out there. There's a lot of people out there giving energy to this. And you know what Marie Laveau said? Marie Laveau said, I learned a long time ago to stop shedding tears for the dead. Okay? And she's a legacy. So you're not, technically, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, death it's sad. It is. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? But, and we already deal with enough death in our family. I'm sad when a family member dies or gets sick. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. And so to just have to be sad all the time, because I mean, it's June, and so probably during this month you're probably going to hear about a lot of stuff, mainly black on black crime, that's going to be sad. And so those frequencies are not conducive with the energy shift that we are experiencing, because at the end of the day, you can't really do anything to control what is happening in the lives of others. You have to learn that you can only control what happens with you and yours and your loved ones and what's going on with you. Not everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe in my heart of hearts that there is a problem with police brutality. I think that it goes a lot deeper than just black people, is what I can tell you, because I've seen them brutalize a lot of people. I've been seeing images of all sorts of people being beat up by the police, over the past week because of this rioting. And they're not all black. Some of them are white folks too. Okay. And so I say that to say this, that, yes, I do think that it is a problem, but I do believe that that problem is not going to be solved by doing what they were doing. And that's why I said it was not going to be solved by looting and stealing. Why waste energy if it's not going to help the situation? And then also, you don't know those people. You don't know any of those people. I'm just keeping it real. And you can't turn your back on the people that you do know and that you do love and that love you for what happened. You just can't do it. So for me, I was focused on my health. I was focused on my business, and I stayed focused on me. And so many of you guys that focused on that, y'all are drained, absolutely drained of your energy. They depleted a lot of your energy, a lot of that energy that you have been building up in your solar plexus, in your heart chakra. Many of you guys are just broken hearted, and a lot of y'all are empaths. So that's why this was able to have such a deep impact on you. And I get it, you know what I'm saying? But somebody got to stay right. So that's why I just went ahead and, you know what I'm saying? The other day I ordered the wishing well fountain for our ritual that's coming up, and it's actually on its way. Fingers crossed, some fairy dust that it makes it here safely without any damage. Hey, pretty and intuitive. So I stayed focused, even though there was something that was trying to distract me. I forced myself, and it wasn't really a lot of effort because, spirit, they have been preparing us and giving us plenty of warning that stuff like this was going to happen. And even though, you know what I'm saying, I felt bad for a lot of the people that were in the news that stuff happened to them. You know what I'm saying? But you got to keep going. You got to go on with yourself. You have to. Take everything with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, it was almost cartoonish. It was really bizarre the way it was so obviously some kind of Masonic ritual, something. I don't want to just blame everything on the Masons, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so now, they're laughing all the way to the bank while you were distracted. And according to the statistics, it's going to take you at least a year to get up from that floor that they push you down upon, unless you get a cleanse. So I definitely did a cleanse on myself. I don't know about you guys. Scorpio Witch, did you do any cleansing over the weekend? I know I did. I did all kind of cleansing and banishing and unblockings because things like that can block you. And if you refuse to go along with it, you were sort of shunned. It's either go along with what is supposed to pretty much destroy all of your plans in life and take away from you, or get shunned and get talked about. I'd rather get shunned and get talked about. I rather weather the storm and say, you know what, this group of people have told me that they're mad at me because I'm not going along with the ritual, which is basically what I said, what I told you guys. I said, don't be a sheeple in that ritual because you're going to get fed on. And that's exactly what happened. And so now so many of you are so sad, and like literally there's a spirit on you. Now you got to go, that spirit that is taking you several steps backwards. Do you know how to get rid of that spirit? You're going to have an exorcism. So now it's going to cost you money. Now it's going to cost you money because that spirit ain't going to stay off of you, because it was never meant to feed you. It was meant to take from you. That whole thing was meant to take from you. That's all that it was meant to do. And I tried to warn my people. And I was just seeing 9/11. Maybe I didn't express it in the same way. I know that there were other, vloggers. Um, of course, we speak against the degradation of any people, but, of any people. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. Of course, that's like a no-brainer. Okay, so, these ridiculous, sort of questions that are being raised in the public, it's preposterous to me because, of course, we don't, want that. But I will tell you that there are witches out there that, they're sort of in revenge mode. And so maybe they do feel some type of way. And maybe they, because like I said, I saw black magic all over it. I actually haven't had time. I've been, dealing with new clients and then also clients that I've been working with for a while. So I really have not had time or probably even will ever have time to do a George Floyd reading. And in my spirits, I don't think that they want me to do it because it's just the same thing. It's exactly what I told you, that whenever you see something like this in the national news that's being talked about a lot, you have to pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, and your perceptions, and realize that it is a form of mind control. And so they can place you under that mind control, and they know that they still have control over a certain, percentage of the population by doing that of which they do. And so, especially, don't go out there, shooting like at your average police officer because a lot of them are just doing their job. So I think that this is exactly what who was that predicted this? I think it was Charles Manson had predicted Helter Skelter because I think they said that Charles Manson was like a prophet. And I'm seeing 9/11 only in reverse right now. It's 11 in the chat, 9 thumbs up. Um, Helter Skelter is about um, you know, causing this situation right here. You guys will have to go look it up. I can't really verbalize the way that they put it in their words, but this is exactly what what we don't want is for the military um, to start to attack the people, and then there ends up being this war. Because if that is the case, then many, many, many people will die, and it will all be senseless deaths. And deaths. That's all because of greed and money. All of this had to do with greed and money. So, and like I said, it ain't nothing wrong with. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe in treating yourself. I believe in being lavish. I believe in that. I do. I think that you should. I think that you should have everything that you want. Life is but a dream. I don't think it's anything wrong with wanting money and prosperity. There is nothing wrong with that. It makes life easier. You're able to afford certain things that, somebody else that may not be, you know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with wanting things. But when you want things at the expense of another to the point where, you know what I'm saying? And God knows that, we can't really trust a lot of the black leaders because, many of them have pushed and pushed and pushed this slavery, post-slavery, post-apocalyptic, they have pushed that on to the black community, and this consistently keeps your mind preoccupied with that. And this was not a system that was meant to allow you to go anywhere. It was only meant for a select privileged few black people to actually manifest and go anywhere. That system forces at least 85 to 90% of the black community to lose. That is what that system does. It is never going to elevate you, ever. It's only going to feed a select few people. And I like a lot of the black movies. Especially with Oprah. Oprah made several movies, talking about slavery and the struggles of the woman and things like that. So, but it's something that you have to put into perspective, man, because that within itself, as you notice, can be used. It's not necessarily Oprah's job to tell you what is going on. Oprah is a billionaire. I think Oprah is worth billions. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, because of the movies that she created. And then sometimes the way that the black community will take it is they will take it as, nobody likes me. I'm not going nowhere. Life is hard for me. If you keep thinking and talking that way, then you won't get the things that you want. And which means that it's going to be real hard for you to tap into your creativity. See, a lot of these celebrities and actors and actresses and stuff, they are tapping into their creativity to manifest money. But the way that it's manifesting in a lot of black communities is it manifests as stress, depression, low vibrations, low vibe, low frequency, and low spirits and low energy. So that's why you guys are low on energy, is because that spirit was meant to be put on you so that it could feed off of you. So that was the reason why I guess that was the reason why I came and I warned people about this. I told you guys, I said, this is not the time, like literally to sit there and watch it. It was like at first I started to go off into that. But then, a little birdie came and was like, no, you can't do that because, the, you know, something is trying to mess up the timeline. So that's how they're able to mess you up and hold you back. And it does have that effect. It does. That whole experience didn't uplift the black community. It destroyed it. It destroyed many black communities. But the people that knew exactly what was going on, they were able to do what? Capitalize off of it. There were many of you that did not capitalize off of it. You were in that energy of stealing. Stealing is extremely bad luck. You should never steal. Stealing takes away from you. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It does. At some point. Now, I will tell you that, again, in my previous life, I robbed 15 banks. So I was a thief. But trust me, I lost my life in one of the most horrific ways. Okay? And so lesson was learned. It doesn't mean that I didn't steal it fair and square. But you know what I'm saying? Those lessons were learned, and they were learned very harshly, because even though you steal it, you can't enjoy it. And so we like to manifest clean money over here. Okay. We like to manifest money that is unmarked and untouched. Because see, when you do that, you're able to feel good about your money. You see what I'm saying? How that situation, an argument between two friends, or either two enemies, okay, George and Siobhan, or whatever his name is, Shalon, I can't remember, how that escalated into, a situation of we shall overcome, took a lot of black people back 700 years, which that energy is not good. It's not that to go back 700 years and to actually be in that energy of lack. While you were doing that, you were also in the spirit of unappreciation, which is not good. Because for you to compare the position that you're in now to back then, it's nothing wrong with it. It just feels like the past. It feels like we're being forced in this past life regression that literally did nothing for the Black community. It didn't. It didn't do nothing for the Black community. Maybe those were lessons that needed to be learned, you know, in this lifetime, but it didn't do anything for you. Because so now, um, especially if you were genuinely concerned, if you were genuinely hurt by that situation, it hurt you in more ways than one, than just your heart chakra. It led to that spirit drained you. You know what I'm saying? It left you very uninspired. Okay, for me, I know I know that it seemed that some people didn't care, but it's not that they don't care. It's just that they probably just love their family and their loved ones. And they want to make sure, you know what I'm saying? They want to make sure that their families are good. Yeah. Right. It's to get you to have low self-esteem and low self-worth. It's a way to get you to feel bad about yourself, to knock you down. That's why the image was, placed like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why those images were used. It's a test. It's one big test. For me, I did not feel, and many of you need to get to this point. I swear to God, you'll free yourself. Then that's when that mental slavery is gone. Because slavery doesn't exist anymore, okay? But the slavery is in your mind. They've been able to mentally enslave you. Even those of you that, do things like this to the Black community, and you think that you're free and independent of that, but you're not. You're not, because again, those are lowered frequencies. And literally, we're not on that frequency. So, for example, when I spoke about it that day. The next day, I was done talking about it. But the whole world, for about several days, the whole top of the month, the whole front. Now, now we've got the summer solstice coming up, and many of us are going to be celebrating, but some of y'all are not going to be celebrating that summer solstice. Some of y'all are going to be stressed out, wondering what you're going to do next. Because the summer solstice is on the 22nd of June. Now, this is also a new moon. It's at the end of the month on the new moon. And so when you continue to lack financially, because around that time, that's when George's family, I think Patreon is going to release that money. The GoFundMe, I think they hold the money for 30 days. They hold the money for 30 days, right? I've never done a GoFundMe, and you know what I'm saying? I've never had a payout from a GoFundMe. I think I've set one up before, but I took it down. I don't even think I've ever done a GoFundMe before, actually. I've never done one. And so basically what happens is that the money gets released like after they hold it, and then that money's going to go into their account, and then you're going to be wondering how the hell you're going to pay your phone bill. Then you're going to realize perhaps I should have kept my chin up. That's what that means. When you keep your chin up, going back into, the rioting and the looting, that only confirms that there's still a lot of ignorance, because that, my friends, was a waste of energy. All of that energy that was being thrown at you by the universe, very healing, prosperous, and energies of wisdom was being thrown at you. But while you were supposed to be, connecting with that, there was so many people that were, out blowing things up, and instead of connecting with this energy. And so there will be regrets because of that. So, and I think that y'all should really, really pay attention, especially if you are somebody that, literally, like, everything that happens in the freaking news, like, y'all need to realize how this is affecting you, how it's bringing down your vibrations and your frequencies. It's bringing you down. You know what I'm saying? And it's draining you. Many of you guys, I can tell. Don't tell me I can tell, because I've been over here scrubbing and cleaning my house. Stuff just keeps coming up from the floor and shit. I know y'all houses need to be cleaned. Many of y'all are so drained that you couldn't even get up and clean up. They see that is a sign. That is a sign that something is not right. That you might be getting used or duped or hoodwinked or bamboozled. And so the collective consciousness of the Black community is going to have to stop doing that, because you'll never go anywhere in life. You'll be stuck in the same position that you're in, especially if you have melanated men around you and you're not necessarily connecting to what those frequencies are actually about. All we can do is, you know what I'm saying, is say, hey, listen, and then another thing, many of you guys are not spiritually protecting yourselves. I told you guys that in that video. The only thing that I detected from the George Floyd video was it was a disingenuous energy that came from it. I didn't see any angels versus a Tatiana. um, you could really sense something very negative, but you could also sense that there was no protection or something. It seems like to me that, this whole slavery and whole Black thing is lucrative financially, which is why you have people that vlog about it. For me over here, I don't, because I feel like you know what I'm saying, we represent melanated people that have truly went past that fourth dimensional existence. So we don't necessarily live in that dimension anymore. And we do speak to people that are trying to get out of that dimension. You have no idea how to get yourself out of that sunken place. You don't. That's why you're still there. That's why the moment they do that, and they're not the evil ones. Your mind is what's evil. They're not necessarily the evil ones. I'm going to be honest with you. That, a lot of the stuff that we see in the news, this stuff is meant to get you to wake up. This stuff is meant to wake you up. But it has an opposite effect, because a lot of people honestly don't know what's going on. They just think that this poor Black man got killed by the police, and he was like a Terminator or something, and even the president himself said it's just like he snapped. That's what the president said about that police officer. When you think about it, that's pretty much what people do. So he snapped, and then y'all snapped. And you can't blame anybody but yourself on that, because I can just about imagine the violence The violence that's not even being talked about in the news, just over the weekend, and it was a bloody weekend. It was just like just all kind of blood just shed. I could tell. I cut my finger. I never cut my finger. I never cut myself. I cut myself deep. That blood just kept drip. It just kept flowing, and I couldn't even stop it from bleeding. It was so weird, probably because your thumb moves, so it's kind of difficult. It finally stopped bleeding. I used it on some of my candles, for real. But yeah, it is a chain reaction, and with some people, it was very negative. But for some people, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I just didn't want any parts of it. I felt my great grandmother's energy on me. I felt Big Mama's energy on me over the weekend because Big Mama would have said the same thing. Big Mama, she was a very kind and loving person. Um, but, I could feel that energy of her just didn't want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to do with this, so I just went with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just went with what was in my spirits, and I can never be mad at that because I got $1 million on the way, so I can't complain about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I keep bringing up, hey, hey, Ernest. Well, Ernest, I can honestly say that my job that I do as a spiritualist, I'm not a slave. But if you want to talk about slavery still existing, yeah, it does. It's not talked about. In fact, it's covered up. We have child sex slavery. We have women right now, even in America. There are women and men that are, in fact, slaves. But the way that you're a slave is through your mind. So, in order for you to be a slave in the physical, you would have to be a slave in the mental. Now, do I believe that having a job is slavery? I think that having a job can be, it can be spiritually damaging depending on what job it is. But I think that a job is a stepping stone. So I don't think of jobs as slavery. I worked in the workforce for over 20 years. Do I believe that it was slavery? No, because it's the way that I look at things. I don't look at things like that. I look at it as a stepping stone, that stepping stone that I appreciate. So everything that I did prior to what I'm doing now before starting my successful business, I don't look at it as slavery. I don't look at myself as a slave because I've worked for companies. Let me tell y'all the companies that I've worked for. I've worked for AT&T, I've worked for Sprint, I've worked for Best Buy, I have worked for several managed property management companies as either a leasing agent, assistant property manager, or either property manager. I've never worked at a bank, coincidentally. um, I have worked for nonprofit companies. I have worked at what's the name of that plasma center? I worked there shortly after. So I've worked for several companies. Okay. Never even looking back at that situation, did I ever think of myself as a slave. Those jobs were stepping stones. Okay, so this is the reason why most of your jobs have a high turnover. They really ain't, unless you walk up in there a supreme witch, which I could go and literally have a totally different experience with the companies that I was with. But why would I want to be anything other than a witch? This is who I am. And so I would never want to work in any other occupation other than this, except for maybe possibly real estate investment. Okay, now I would definitely, but that's just investments. That's called an investment. That's totally different than what you do, possibly. And you know what? It would still be a hobby because I really do like houses. I like uh, restoring houses and things like that. I like home improvement and stuff like that. I like house renovations. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? Renovating stuff. But other than that, I wouldn't want to do anything other than what I'm doing now because, I pretty much, you can't go back once you start doing this. But I don't think of those jobs as slavery. I think of those jobs as stepping stones. So I think it's all about the way that you look at it. You know what I'm saying? Even though you know what I'm saying, you start to earn more when you have your own business. You definitely do. So even if you're working a job right now, stop looking at it. 1111 popped up. Stop looking at it as slavery. The way you're looking at it is going to make all the difference. The job that you're at right now, instead of you looking at it as slavery, look at it as a stepping stone to start investing. Now you don't want to go up to the job and start talking about, oh, don't go to work talking about your plans of starting your own business. You definitely don't. There goes 1111. So, if you guys, want to start doing better, you have to change the way that you look at what you're doing right now. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Using it as a stepping stone, which coincidentally, when you look at the whole George Floyd ritual, it was symbolic of the black man being used as a stepping stone, which was exactly what it was. The foot on the neck, and then a bunch of African American people looting and rioting, doing things that are not logical, that are very illogical, which are only going to hurt the situation. Like when you literally can make a situation worse instead of making it better. But when you think about it, George was like a sacrifice. When you think about it, gave his life, and you see who the benefactors are going to be, which is his daughter and his brother, but not you. Not you. So, what you did was you took your energy out there and set yourself back. It wasn't a setback for that man's family. He gave himself basically, if the way I see it, that was a sacrifice. And so now his daughter is a millionaire. So again, what you did probably was not the best reaction. Okay, I'm just saying, and so that's just what is up with that. Yeah, that's true. If your mindset changes, your life will change. You are absolutely right. Yeah. So for me, and I think that now I will tell you that a lot of the a lot of the jobs that you guys are working, there's a lot of office politics going on. Depending on who you work for, there have been several companies that I have blacklisted. I'm not going to be talking about them. So some of y'all, the company that you work for is, possibly very corrupt. And, and so you guys, when you're at work, you're being drained. And if you're not drained, they're going to look at you like, why is this person not drained? You know what I'm saying? Like some of y'all, man, y'all got to watch out for that because, and it can be hard out there. I'm telling you, it can be very hard out there. So you guys make sure that you pay attention to when if you're watching this channel, at the very least, just kind of, when I tell you, hey, when I say the portals are open, that's code word for many, many, many different things, not just a portal opening and it's like lights and stuff flickering, even though that is what I imagine it to look like because it's energy, right? But it's also a lot of other things that you want to pay attention to. So, there are people other people that are doing these rituals. And so you're not in on that ritual actually. You would have gained more had you did your own. You see what I'm saying? So even though there were people that they kind of went into that energy, and it was just like, oh Lord, let's feel sorry for the black man and da 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 da. I would never feel sorry for the black man because I know that that's not going to do him any good. In fact, that's going to have an opposite effect. In fact, I would rather educate young black boys to not feel sorry for self, because that energy is the complete opposite of self-esteem. Somebody tell me that they feel sorry for me, I'm going to get insulted. Or maybe not necessarily get insulted, but that's an insult. I'm going to know that that person is insulting me if they say, hey, I feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like when you decide when you lift yourself up. So this is the reason why a lot of the dark goddesses like myself, we gonna give you some tough love, because at that time it was important for you to focus on self. So when you think about it, even when you go back and look at the reading that I did the other day, in which I'm gonna probably put some stuff on unlisted and put some stuff on private, because but a lot of the videos that I did on the George Floyd situation, I am not going to take those down. I'm not going to take back what I said. I'm not. Okay? Because it just, I can't do that, because if I hadn't have done that, it would have tipped the scales too far, and that's not what we need at this point. Just as a society, we don't need that. And we definitely don't need um, the media trying to spark racial tension, man. Seriously. That's why I held on to all of my people, white, black, all of y'all, held all of y'all down. The people that's with me. You know what I'm saying? The people that's against me, I didn't hold you down because you didn't walk that. You said, Jamila, we not listening to you. We have got to do this and be in this frame of mind. But that frame of mind is the opposite of what it is that you want. It's going to manifest the opposite of what you wanted. Okay? So I did not, I saw somebody say that I was cooning, and I was not doing that. I wasn't. I was merely educating you on making sure that you don't deviate away from your path. That's what I was doing. Okay? Because I think it was just so heartbreaking. It definitely was heartbreaking what happened. But for me, even though I'm an empath, many of y'all are empaths, you're very empathic, and many of y'all have just been crying for days and days and days. What if I told you that you wasn't crying over necessarily the situation, but you've been crying over something that you've been needing to release anyway? You've been needing to release a lot of that negative energy for a while anyway. Okay, this just gave you it was the straw that broke the camel's back. So it is important for you to focus on you and doing what is best for you. Okay, because it doesn't make any sense for you to, die and have a heart attack over what happened. So that's all I was saying. Stay on your path. I wished George Floyd, I told him to rest in peace, is what I did. I told him to rest in peace, and the next day I moved on. The next day I came back, I did my Oracle deck. And, there's probably some people that had a problem with that. Well, I don't know, well, with everything going on in the world, how can you still focus on that? I had somebody call and ask me that we have a pandemic going on. How can you still focus on an Easter ritual? There's going to be something going on during summer solstice too. There's going to always be something going on that is going to distract you, or it's going to be difficult. So it's a good thing that I did that that Easter ritual. We did a healing. We did like a healing thing for weeks with that. Probably could have somehow slowed down or stopped this pandemic. You never know. You never know. Maybe it helps some people heal. Maybe it helps a lot of people, be protected from those parasites of the mind that is out there. So, I mean, that's why we don't stop. We keep going. Um, you know, and you can't stop. Even if something happens to somebody that you really love personally, you can't stop. I personally, if something happened to me, I would want my family and my children to move on. I wouldn't want them to sit around sad about me, even though I think that they really would be. So I ain't leaving here no time soon, y'all. I promise, because I think that would be really really sad, like especially for my kids. So we don't think about that. My son doesn't even allow me to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but my spirit would be encouraging you to move forward. I wouldn't spiritually. So eventually when I'm in the stars again, or beyond this reality. You know what I'm saying? I'll be a good ancestor, because I wouldn't want to, I just, I want you to take a lot of the teachings and move forward with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit, especially don't feel sorry for me, because when I leave this body, I am going to heaven. Okay? Don't even play. I already know where I'm going. So, but that doesn't, I mean, just because you know you're going to heaven doesn't mean that you still want to die. Like, nobody wants to die. Okay? Seriously. Let's just keep it real about the situation. There are some people that do want to die, though. They feel like death would be very peaceful or whatever. Anyway, a spirit never dies. Just to let y'all know, it just kind of changes form, or either goes somewhere, when it comes to the spirit of a person. So, y'all just be careful with that. And what I want y'all to do today is I want you to focus on what your goals are, or what were you thinking about right before this whole situation happened. And if you can't even think about it, then perhaps your memory has been wiped. Maybe it was really that bad, because I swear to y'all, I felt that energy come through. What was that night, the other night when we was talking, Scorpio Witch? I think that was, I'll have to check something else. I'll be able to tell that energy was really, really negative. It really was. And so when you think about it, you have to go back now. You have to actually go back and think, where was I at prior to all of this happening? Because then what happened was the road that you may have been going down, or headed towards, was changed, or either you took a hidden path of something, or you took a blind path, which is okay, because many of you guys were blindfolded. But it was like this experience was meant to teach you something. Don't walk away from this thinking that the world hates black men, or the world hates black people. That's actually not true. That's not true on even a large scale. Okay? Seriously. Don't walk away thinking that way, because if you actually think that way, then this is going to start to manifest in your life eventually. At some point, this is going to manifest negatively if that's what you focus on. For example, with me, I know it's people out there that don't like me. I know it's people out there that stalk me. It's people out there, you know what I'm saying? But I don't allow those people to preoccupy my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving my mind time to be free of that. Remember, only give that about maybe 5%, if that. If that. The rest of that, it is okay for you to give that to yourself and your family, because that is who is depending on you. So many of you actually were under possession almost by this whole thing. You were under possession. And then you woke up today and you said, wow, you know. Another thing that I want to tell you is that um, I'm gonna tell y'all this, coming straight from my spirits, is that spirits would like to cut down on the amount of trauma on planet Earth. Okay, because it seems like to me that it's all trauma based mind control as well. And that might either be here nor there. Maybe that's what they feel is necessary to get people to wake up. Okay, when you actually see the tragedy and the devastation of, you know what I'm saying, what happened, and then the fact that energy is being used. Whenever you have energy being used, where is it going? So here's the way I look at riots and looting. You've got people with torches. Okay, you've got people setting things on fire. You've got people angry. Who is using that energy? Who? Not the government, not the police. They couldn't be. I don't even believe it's the government. I think it's interdimensional beings. They can't control the government. But when you think about it, where did all of that energy go to? Where did it go? So I would start to question that. Where is my energy going to go if I do this? And what is going to come to me? What's going to come back to me? While my energy, so this is the reason why it was not a good idea to be down there doing. I don't care if you were white or black. Where is your energy going to? And then especially the people that were stealing, spirits was writing down names. Y'all, stealing is bad luck. You'll be poor your entire life stealing, or you'll have bad karma. Stealing is not good. I think that I believe that there's certain spirits that definitely do speak to us about a more positive way to manifest. You know, like I said, I've admitted and told y'all that I was a bank robber in my previous life. So I was a thief, right? And that's why in this lifetime, I pretty much started off with nothing. Even though spiritually, I can take a lot of that energy from the previous life, you know what I'm saying? And I can apply it. But even with that, you know what I'm saying? Everything that I do, everything that I'm doing right now is new. I just take all of the determination and you know what I'm saying, using your intelligence for a higher purpose is the way that I feel. So that's all I'm saying to you guys. And so it can be very confusing, but when you think about it, it was just like Fleurbrun was saying, what was she saying, controlled opposition or something like that. Like this is just it's like a game, is basically what it is. And at the end of the day, statistically, like a majority of you guys are supposed to lose at that game. So, especially if you play the game and you fall right into the trap of the game players. So, you have to stay on top of that. You can't just, you may be on your shit, you may be doing your thing and you feeling good. And then the next thing that spirit is being invoked. And then the next thing you know, you losing. and or maybe you'll lose in the long run. You see what I'm saying? So don't ever be a try not to be a part of rituals that are not going to benefit you. For example, my ritual that's coming up will have your names written on the petition. None of y'all names was written on that petition. Y'all were not written on the names of that petition. It was George Floyd's daughter, the baby mama, the brother, and other members of the family. Those whose names were written on that petition. And then also, we got to stop relating, black people dying to getting paid money. Black people can manifest money and they don't have to die and suffer with somebody's foot on their neck. So that's another bad message. The whole image is bad of that. Okay. So be a part of either your own rituals, do your own rituals, or either be a part of rituals where your name is going to be written on the petition and where you're going to benefit. Because you're not a benefactor of that. You're not. You may have saw something come through or whatever, but it was a mere pittance to what they got. And there's no reason for you to be upset about that or hate on that. Learn the lesson and do better because now you know better. Okay. So anyway, guys, I will see y'all later. Yeah, I gotta go. That's Monday's wisdom for y'all today. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So y'all got how many days? Y'all have 4 days to get in on the June 12th ritual that I am doing. And so, yeah, if you guys want details about that, you can visit my Etsy shop. For those of you that already participate in my group rituals, you guys know that you can cash at me. And that's it. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for coming. I gotta go. I gotta go and make me a smoothie and get out here and do some walking probably. I will. I love you too, Scorpio, which I'll call you. I'll call you a little bit later. I'm about to drink me some coffee right now and follow up on some emails. So, all right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Love and light.